Perfection is the only way to describe the runs done by countless gamers in the American Dad speedrunning community. Frame-perfect inputs to achieve the ultimate goal, the flagpole. But aside from bringing times down millisecond by millisecond, a group of dedicated runners have decided to hand the controller off to a new age of speedrunning, tool-assisted. American Dad is a game released on September 6, 2005. It was released on the Xbox 360 in 2013 and has remained the game for everyone who enjoys both America and dads. American Dad is a beat-em-up game, pitting the player Stan Smith against hordes of enemies. But the game itself is not what's being ran. For some reason, a cult following has been brought towards the first 30 seconds of the game, known as the introduction. Speedrunning the intro has become a staple of this hidden gem, and now, optimization has reached its peak with the introduction of tool-assisted speedrunning. Tool-assisted, or TAS for short, is a speedrun in which inputs can be freely mapped to each frame of the game, with the help of a computer. So let us enter the world of insanity that is TAS American Dad. The first TAS to be done was made by a user named FunkyBunch, whose account has been terminated for unknown reasons, and since this was not highlighted on Twitch, it has been lost to the sands of time. Many have said that it was around 11 seconds, which can be considered impossible by the normal human mind. The second TAS speedrun was done by YouTube user Yoshimaniac, who uploaded this speedrun to Twitter.
The sky has a smile on his face, and he shines all day. Good morning, USA!
The way that this speedrun is accomplished is by moving Stan out of bounds during the scripted newspaper sequence. This is only available for one frame. Although Stan is in an infinite damage area, without pin-precise movements, Stan would perish, and have to restart the run in its entirety. But by sliding Stan into his vehicle, it will reload the area, allowing more momentum to reach the flagpole, in which turn will cull the rest of the environment in, ending our run. This run was considered to be the gold standard, until one day later, it was broken by Fitzy 64.
Good morning.
Good morning, USA!
Fitzy 64 found a new exploit within the code of the game. By inputting these combinations into the game, you could increase Stan's speed, as the game has a cartoony art style. When characters move faster, their voices would increase. When Stan moves fast enough, his model glitches out, as the game is trying to produce an afterimage of Stan, emphasizing his speed, as well as his voice increase. This has been dubbed the music skip. After gaining speed from the slippers, which are actually part of the floor mesh of the environment, as the bedroom area and the majority of the intro is considered a unplayable environment, as it is ran like a QTE cutscene, Stan will rocket backwards, directly towards the flagpole. As the game has no idea what it's supposed to do, it will run the ending sequence, finishing this run. Unfortunately, this is being ran through a corrupted BIOS on the GameCube. And while this could be done through an emulator, it cannot be done on original hardware. The next speedrun, which broke the record of Fitzy, is from YouTuber Zayo, putting the record at an astounding 8.05 seconds. He performed this run on a copy of the Xbox 360 re-release of American Dad. Zeo states that he has no idea how the glitches work, and some speedrunning veterans have accused him of modding the game. Although this is debatable, Zeo's run is still valid, but he is definitely no Stinky Baby Cheats a Lot. The next speedrun manages to take off an amazing amount of time, bringing our world record for TAS down to 1.5 seconds. This run was done by YouTube user Yoshi, not related to YouTube user Yoshimaniac. He explains his run as follows. The RNG value for determining how Stan backflips into the car can be anywhere from 0 to 65535. However, the developers had an oversight in one of the values, 24737. This value is linked to the animation of Stan opening the door of the car. If the value gets set to 0, the animation isn't played, and it skips directly to the flag. If you are wondering why the palette gets messed up, the area which stores the current indexed palette value is 0x6A01, which is 24737 in hex. Thus, this area gets set to the value of Stan's most recent animation, being the backflip. This indexes an unintended range of the game, RAM, so the palette gets set to one that wouldn't usually be seen in normal play. This run would be considered a flawless run, but that would not be the case. YouTube user RitLol would break this record, running the intro at an astounding 1.049 seconds. This run is ran so quickly that it's said to bring tears to the eyes of whoever sees it. Take a look. Purely masterful. The way that this is achieved is while the camera is facing the first flag. Using frame-perfect inputs, you can floor clip Stan into the kitchen, tricking the game into loading the second flag. Although this is only able to be done on the Japanese version of American Dad, otherwise known as America no Otusan. I apologize if I have butchered that name. With that final run, this brings us to the end of the records for American Dad Tool Assisted. But before we finish off for tonight, I received a message that a specific speedrunner would like to reclaim his fame and prove to everybody that he is not a Stinky Baby Cheats a Lot. Hello.
Hello. FUCK here. Legendary American Dad speedrunner.
So, I've heard you're coming back to reclaim your reputation.
Manfred right? Manfred wrong? Who knows?
Indeed.
Not.
Indeed. So, what got you into speedrunning American Dad?
Well, my buddies used to play all the time. Was never really into it myself.
Interesting. So, did you expect the backlash from your speedrun where the newspaper doesn't have any text on it?
No, I didn't. I mean, it's kind of a hard glitch to pull off. I found another one where you can just completely skip the newspaper altogether. But what I was getting there is called a blank newspaper skip. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just with some save states, you can make it so the newspaper has no text on it.
I saw that you put the one non-TAS run out, but people are still calling you, and I quote, Stinky Baby Cheats a Lot. What do you have to say to those people?
All of my runs are non-TAS, and for all those people calling me Stinky Baby Cheats a Lot, they can sit and spin.
You ever had Cheez-Its before?
I have not.
Are you still speedrunning American Dad, or are you, moving on to other games?
I'm not really much of a gamer. Some may call them that.
I hear that they're preferred to be called people of play.
People of play.
Yeah. Gamer's not really the word that we use these days.
Oh, behind the times, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. So what do you do aside from speedrun American Dad?
I'm a professional chiller.
What's your preferred temperature to chill at?
Any temperature is fine.
I prefer my chills at 8 degrees Kelvin.
Nice.
Well, while I still have you here, is there anything you want to say to anybody who's watching?
For anyone who has ever called me names or doubted me, I'm sorry I made you think that way of me. But I'm just a guy trying to chill, get some speedruns in. Yeah, that's about it.
Alright, well, thank you for your time, FUCK.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, the runs for American Dad have died down substantially, or have become so fast that it is almost extremely boring to look at. Perhaps another game will take the place of American Dad, but it seems only time will tell what beautiful speedruns await us in the future. Thank you for watching. I'll keep this brief.